So critical to quality is the features that impacts the safety, regulatory, and functional performance of a part or a product. Okay, this might sound a little complicated. Let me explain CTQ in a very simple way. Okay, I've just switched off the presentation for some time so that I can have one-to-one discussion with you. Okay, now, how many of you like coffee? Just type coffee in the chat box if you like coffee. Okay, now, how many of you like tea? You can type tea in the chat box. Okay, do you prefer hot coffee or cold coffee? Just type in the chat box, hot or cold, whatever, tea or coffee, hot or cold. Okay, a lot of you are typing hot, some of you are typing cold. So this is called voice of customer. Voice of customer. Okay, do you want with sugar or without sugar or sugarless? Okay, do you want sugarless? Type SL. If you want less sugar, type LS. Okay. All right, amazing. Thank you very much. Okay, the reason that I asked is, whenever we talk about a product or a service, first what is important is the voice of customer. You are the customer, your voice is you want a hot coffee, you want with less sugar. Now my question is, what does less sugar mean to you? What does less sugar? Suppose if it is less sugar, how much teaspoons of sugar should I add in a cup of coffee? Let's see. Somebody says 1, somebody says 2, somebody says half, somebody says 1.5, and this is called as CTQ, critical to quality. This is called somebody says 1/4. If it is less sugar, I'm not saying sugarless, okay? I'm talking about less sugar means. Do you see what does less sugar mean? You are translating the voice of customer to a specification, which is 1 teaspoon or half teaspoon or this thing. Okay, now, so if you can see, type ICS, I can see in the chat box. Okay, it's very important for you to communicate. In this online space, I can't see you, I can't hear you. The only way that I interact with you is through chat box. So I want a lot of interaction in the chat box, okay? Fantastic. Okay, similarly, the other question is, if you say I want hot coffee, how much should be the temperature of the coffee in centigrade? Yeah, I still have the first slide. Yes. Look at the temperature difference, right? Okay, now let me take you to this. So from voice of customer, we go to what is called as critical to quality. So voice of customer data helps an organization what products or services people want, what are the features they want. We will have to decide where to focus on the improvement efforts depending upon the voice of the customer. It becomes a baseline for customer satisfaction, and we will identify the key drivers for that customer satisfaction. Okay, if this slide is clear, type SC, super clear, in the chat box. Okay, in one of my sessions to identify the voice of customer, okay, the needs of customer, I had actually shared with you about Kano model. Okay, Kano model. If you know about Kano model, type KNOW. If you don't know, type NO in the chat box. Okay, many of you do not know, so let me go ahead and quickly explain this Kano model to identify the voice of customers. So this is Dr. Kano from Japan. Okay, it's popularly called Kano model, and I will explain the Kano model in a very interesting slide here. Okay, now what do you see on the screen? What do you see on the screen? Smiley, happy customers. All of you type HC in the chat box. All of you type happy customers. And at the bottom, you find an angry customer. Type AC in the chat box, okay? Put that angry customer in AC. Okay, fine. So on the vertical axis, we have customer satisfaction. As you go higher, the customer is very happy. As you go lower, the customer is angry. Okay. On the x-axis, the horizontal axis, we have the needs of the customer which is not fulfilled on the left side, towards the left side, and towards the right side. The more we go towards the right side, the needs of the customers are fulfilled. Okay. Now, if you fulfill the needs of the customer, will the customer be happy or sad? Okay. Okay. Happy, 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 happy. Very good. Okay. I will ask the questions the other way. If the needs of the customer are not fulfilled, will the customer be happy or sad? What a stupid question I'm asking, right? That's what so many people say. Okay. What Dr. Cano says is, Dr. Cano says something interesting. Okay. Dr. Cano says it depends, which means even if the need is fulfilled, the customer may not be happy. Or even if the need is not fulfilled, the customer may not be angry or sad. It depends upon the need. Okay, let me explain you with an example. He classifies that as three different types of needs of the customer. One is called as basic needs. Okay, all of you type BN in the chat box. Basic need. If there is one thing that you want to take away today, you should take away this Kano model. Okay, it's such an important framework to understand. Basic needs means if I go to a hotel, if I check in the hotel and I enter the room, I feel very tired. I want to have a warm shower. I enter the bathroom, okay, and open the shower. There's a nice, flow of water that comes from the shower, nice shower that comes in, warm shower, and I enjoy the shower. Do I immediately get excited, happy, and call the reception and say, wow, I checked in, I opened the bathroom, I opened the shower, and the warm water came and I'm very happy, thank you. Would you ever call the receptionist and say? Never. Because that is a basic need. All of you can laugh out loudly. Because that's a basic need. Okay, let me give you another example. Okay, I bought a new SIM card for my mobile phone. I put the SIM and then I dial a friend and I hear the ring going. My friend calls me from other, hi, how are you? And then I said, hey. And then immediately I said, wow, this is working. Immediately call the customer care and then say, wow, I put the SIM card and the SIM card is working. And I was able to hear the voice. Would you call up the customer service and thank you for this SIM card? No. Why? All of you type BN in the chat box. Basic need. It's a basic need. So basic need must be fulfilled. All of you type in the chat box must be. BNMB. Basic need must be fulfilled. Okay? Good. Okay. Now, there is a second. If basic need is fulfilled, the customer may not be very happy. He's not going to appreciate you. But if basic need is not fulfilled, if you open the shower and the water doesn't come, would you call the reception or not? What do you do? What would you do if the shower doesn't come? What would you do? All of you put the fire symbol in the chat box. Okay. You'll fire the receptionist, right? And we just put a bomb also there. Okay, right. So this is what I mean. If you fulfill the needs, if it is a basic need, he may not be very happy, but if basic needs are not fulfilled, they are going to be angry. The second need is called as a performance need. Okay, all of you type PN in the chat box for the performance need. Okay, what is this performance need? Let me help you understand this. Suppose there was earlier in India, there was a bike called Hero Honda Splendor. Okay, I used to have that bike, and they guaranteed 60 kilometers per liter. Those days, that was a very good mileage. Okay. Now, if it is 60 kilometers per liter, suppose I bought this bike and I observed the kilometers per liter, I got 80 kilometers per liter. Am I going to be happy or sad? Happy, right? Suppose I bought this bike, which they guaranteed as 60 kilometers per liter, but I got only 40 kilometers per liter. What will happen? Angry, sad, my God, right? Unhappy. Okay. Now, this is called value for money proposition. Okay, performance need. We call it as a performance need. Another example that I could give you is I bought this phone, for example, and the battery life, they say it is like the normal usage is 10 hours. If the battery life came to something like 15 hours, I'm going to be very happy. If it is half of that, which is 5 hours, I'm really going to be angry. I'm really going to be sad. So performance need, higher the better. Okay, performance need, higher the better. Right? If performance need is clear, type SC, super clear in the chat box. This is more like value for money. Okay, now this is called as delighter need. The third need is called as a delighter need. All of you type DN in the chat box. DN. We learned about basic need BN, performance need PN. Now it is the time for the delighter need DN. Suppose you bought the SIM card, and along with the SIM card, he said the first month recharge is free. Along with this SIM card, the basic plan recharge is free. Are you going to be delighted, happy? Yay! Very happy? Yeah. But if they don't give the recharge or this offer or whatever, you're not going to complain that there is no offer, right? So that's called delighter need. Suppose you check in the hotel, and as you are checking in, they are preparing your room and stuff like that. You know, they're preparing the basic details, application form or whatever. A beautiful girl comes and gives you a fresh drink. Okay, will you be delighted? Will you be very happy? Somebody is whistling. Somebody is saying depends on the female, right? Okay. Okay. Fainted. Timson will faint. Okay, right. So at the same time, if there's no welcome drink offered to you, you're not going to be sad, right? So this is called as a delighter need. And delighter need may be, all of you type MB in the chat box, maybe. All right. For example, and if you're looking at 5 years down the line, over the period of few years, the delighter need will become basic need. I was very excited when in 2007, when I had a mobile, which is where I could type and send emails. That was a delighter need that time. Which mobile phone was that? Where in 2005 or 7, where I used to type QWERTY keyboard, I used to type and BlackBerry, yeah, which is you type and send mails. That was a delighter need that time. But now this has become a basic need. I was very delighted when I bought a bike which has got a button start. But now that has become a basic need. Okay. So Cano says that the delighter need is your competitive advantage. Okay. Okay, which differentiate you from the competition, but beware that eventually things will catch up and it will become a basic needs. So far, if you found this session interesting, useful, valuable, fantastic, awesome, give me some inspiration in the chat box by typing fantastic, awesome, valuable, everything, so that I will need a dose of dopamine as an inspiration, okay, to proceed further. Thank you. Let me also send you some lot of balloons. Thank you. Right. All right. So please join this upcoming session. Don't forget to join this upcoming session. It's going to be very interesting. When you join this upcoming session, you'll have some exciting bonuses, offers, and you'll become a lifelong member of a community. You'll be a lifelong learner. You'll be a part of an elite community. You will get internationally recognized certification if you join this upcoming webinar. Okay. Okay. Question. In voice of customer analysis, what does it mean if a customer expresses a need as must have? Okay, I'm not giving the answers. Let's see if people take a clue here before even answer. Basic need, fantastic. Okay, good, good. A nice to have feature, it's a critical requirement. It's an irrelevant to the product, or it's not important to the customer. The answer is obviously B, right? Okay, thank you for your participation. Correct answer is it's a critical requirement. It's a basic need. Okay. Voice of the process. So it is important to identify customers and determine what you need to know from those customers. Okay. Now you have to collect and analyze reactive system data, then fill gaps with proactive approaches, whatever is the feedback from the customer. So list of customer needs in their language, like hot cup of coffee, sugarless or less sugar, okay, and translate that into CTQ. CTQ is nothing but the specification. Okay, let's go a little deeper into this. So need, drivers, and CTQ. We need to identify the need through voice of customer. We need to identify the drivers and CTQ. Okay. The high level customer need, we call it as voice of customer. You need to identify the drivers. Now, when you needs are very general in nature. When customer sees the need, it is very general. But when you translate that into CTQ, it is very specific. Okay. Okay. Please type need is equal to general, CTQ is equal to specific. Okay. The reason I'm asking you to type this is very, very important. Thank you very much for those who are typing and participating. CTQ is equal to specific. For example, if they say less, give me less sugar, okay, that's a need, which is general. But if you convert that into specific, like 1 teaspoon or half teaspoon, okay, that's why these days they give you the bag, you add how much ever sugar you want, okay, so that there is no, it's called CTQ, okay, it is specific. Great, thank you very much. The need is hard to measure. CTQ is easier to measure. For example, if the need is less sugar in a coffee, it's very hard to measure because you don't know very clearly what less sugar means. It might be half teaspoon, it can be 1 teaspoon, it might be 1.5 teaspoon. Whereas critical to quality, if you say 1 bag of sugar or 1 teaspoon, then it will be very easy to measure. Okay. CTQ are defined as aspects of the product or service that is critical to. Okay, generally I know what is running in your mind. If I open the chat box, I know what you will type. Yes, some of you got the answer right. Is it quality assurance, customer satisfaction, employee engagement, or cost reduction? Some of you already got it right. It's not critical to quality assurance, my friends. It's critical to customer satisfaction. Okay, please correct your understanding. All right. All right. Okay. So CTQ framework is like this. Okay. CTQ framework is like this. A need, a driver, and a requirement. All of you type NDR in the chat box. NDR, need, driver, and a requirement. Let me help you understand this with examples. But before that, a quick question to recall. Which of the following is not a method for capturing voice of customer? Using surveys, you can capture the voice of customer. You can use focus groups to capture the voice of customer. And you can use social media monitoring to capture the voice of customer. So which is the thing that is not used to capture the voice of customer? Sales, from sales report, you can't capture the voice of customer. Okay, if you sell more, sell less, you really cannot capture the voice of customer. Okay. Now CTQ framework, a need, what is essential or critical to in a product. Please write it in your notebook. Okay, need is what is essential or critical in a product. Okay, for example, if they say I wanted a black coffee, or if they say I want a less sugar coffee, what that is essential for the taste of coffee. Okay, and what guarantees that the need is covered. Okay, sugar, for example. Okay, and what is the specification that guarantees the driver, which is 1 teaspoon or half teaspoon. So less sugar, less sweet. Suppose if the coffee should not be too sweet, if they say I don't want the tea to be too sweet or coffee to be too sweet or the beverage to be too sweet, okay, what guarantees the sweetness is sugar. Okay, and what specification guarantees this driver is half teaspoon or 1 teaspoon. So if this example is clear, simple, fantastic, awesome, whatever that you felt, put it in the chat box. Okay, super clear. Okay, almost all of you are clear. I'll help you with more examples to clarify this. Okay, and I'll ask the questions again back. When identifying CTQs critical to quality, it is important to focus on elements that are easily changeable, cost effective, within the control of organization, important to customer. Looks like an obvious answer, right? Yes, that's the right answer. B is the right answer. Okay, example 1. I said the need is hard to measure and easy to measure, for example, and the need is generalistic and CTQ is more specific. Suppose how many of you love donuts? Just give me a donut in the chat box. Okay, if you want to have great donuts, the drivers are the freshness of the donut and the variety of the donuts. And in freshness, the critical to quality is if you ensure that based on consumption you make these donuts, then that means it will be fresh. And if you use bags or boxes that preserves the freshness, then it will be fresh. So these are the critical to quality which can be easily measured. Variety, it is a regular menu of the 12 donuts, rotating menu of premium donuts, and seasonal special donuts. Okay. All right. To help you with, I'll have another example. Okay. The need, drivers, and CTQ. Suppose customer says, I want a better salad. Okay. So the drivers are three things. What are the three drivers I put here for a better salad? The cost. Then what are the drivers? The temperature of the salad and the taste of the salad. Okay. So those are the drivers: the price, temperature, and the taste. And then for the price, it should not be too expensive. Temperature, it should be just the right coolness, and taste sweet, more fruits, etc. So through this example, if it is clear, give me a 9 or 10 if it is super, super clear. Good. Let me see if I can give you with one more example. Okay, let me check with the question answers. So which of the following an example of CTQ for a mobile phone? Okay, interesting. CTQ for a mobile phone. Weight of the charger, color of the packaging, screen resolution, and length of warranty. Which do you feel is critical to quality for a mobile phone? Critical to quality. Let's see. So quality you see in a mobile phone, you might likely to see the resolution, right? This is a little bit of a tricky question because we really want to see which is where you look at a quality aspect. Of course, you want it less weight of the charger, you want a nice color packaging, you wanted a good warranty period, all that is fine. But then for me, more important is the nice screen resolution. Okay. All right, let me go into another example. What does a good delivery means? The timely delivery, accurate and service. And timeliness, you can put critical to quality as okay. Deliver rate is 90%. Status, email status of the people who have not sent an action taken. Accuracy, 94% of correct orders. So service on tracking is available, and this critical to quality 10 minutes of being informed by the problem if there is a service. So these are all some of the specifications that you measure. Timeliness, some of the specification that you measure, how accurate it is, some of the specification that you have to measure the service. If this example was useful, type super useful in the chat box. If it is super useful. Okay, I want a good service is a customer need. But what is a good service? Maybe the right appearance, faster delivery, right location. These are all indicative, okay? For the pizza, okay, pizza. Height of the pizza, uneven diameter of the pizza, color of the pizza, it's all the appearance, okay? Fast delivery is delivery time with so many minutes, etc. And address is reaching the right location, how many ever number of times, and etc. etc. So if this example was useful, type useful on the chat box. So set the specification for critical to quality. Okay. In the project, if you see here, you have a project. Now I'm going to explain in a very high level before I wind up this session. You have a high level project. Okay. And then you have a metric, you have a performance, and the voice of the customer is measured as a performance in reality. Okay, so if this is within this band, then the customer is satisfied. Okay, so you start learning. If the customer wants good quality, you measure the defect rates, cost of quality, cost of poor quality as a metric, so that you address the voice of customer on or sigma level. Okay, that's what we are going to go into the depth of what is cost of quality and what is cost of poor quality. So last a few questions before we leave the session. Is it okay? Can I have your permission for another 3 minutes? Type PG, permission granted in the chat box. We'll have just 3 questions and then. Okay, which factor is crucial for prioritizing critical to quality? Frequency of occurrence, cost of implementation, impact on customer satisfaction, and employee preferences. Let's see the answers. What's the answer? Which customers? All right, that's a no-brainer. Impact on customer satisfaction. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, for those of you who are here, I will share the complete Lean Six Sigma training manual. Please hold on, okay? And question. Okay, we have this DMAC methodology, define, measure, analyze, improve, control. Which cycle involves, which phase or cycle involves these CTQs? Measure, define, analyze, and improve. Okay, this is a little higher level question. So in the define phase, okay, it's in the critical quality is the define phase. You define the voice of customer and critical to qualities. Okay, please stand corrected. Those of you who typed wrong answers, okay. And maybe the last question, I guess, is in Six Sigma methodology, the CTQs are directly linked to project charter, fishbone diagram, control charts, and project scope. Okay, that's project charter. Okay, it's project charter is the right answer. Please stand corrected if you have not typed the right answers. Which tool is commonly used to translate VOC to CTQ? CIPOC diagram, Ishikawa diagram, Pareto charts, and QFD matrix. This is a little bit of a high level question. Okay, people who know these tools, they will know. Okay. So there is something called as for quality function deployment matrix, which I'll take in another session. Okay. So just this is just for your knowledge. Okay.